My main idea for this project was to use a green roof slash bioswale, and that way we could cleanse the water while having a green roof and use the water for our own needs.
And my main idea was having a mirror, well, not exactly a mirror, but a pane of glass right here in floor -1. So this whole elevator slash spiral staircase thing is made of glass. So the light will come in, go down, and like essentially be reflected off the glass there and light the floor -1.
We didn't actually divide our space up into pieces. We used maximum usage of area in the house, so we could use this bottom floor, floor -1, as a bedroom floor. Our goal was to use as much natural lighting as possible in our design, and we've got just a whole wall of glass almost right up there.
Our big idea was to have a glass wall in between the two houses right here, and so we can look at each other, what we're doing in each other's houses. And I made my house for 4 people who love to cook and love music. So I made a big kitchen and a music room. And my sustainability focus was I was gonna have a rooftop garden with little gardens on it, and to have little drains that collect rainwater and put the rainwater into our garden. I wanted a house that people can look at and say that's a cool house, and so and we wanted a lot of windows so then we could have a lot of natural light. And my family is like a really nice family, and they love to have people over for like dinners and bonfires. And Brady, she has a lot of natural light right here, and that's where like the sun comes in, and so I built mine a floor bigger so that I can have some natural light.
Our design was that our house would hold 4 kids, because I have 3 and he has 1, and 4 adults. Our big idea was that we would have 2 houses next to each other, and then we would have a big open space for a lawn so then the kids can play.
And we decided, let's just put them together, and then we had it split in half. And then we decided, why don't we just have one entire house?
Our sustainability focus
was basically we were going to have a rainwater collection system, which we haven't actually put in yet, and it was going to catch in the gutters and come down to the garden. And we were going to have a windmill, and we were going to have some solar panels up on the top of the house. Well, our challenges were like, we had a problem where when we got all the windows made and stuff, they weren't in the right spots and they weren't all straight stuff, so we had to redo that all, and the roof kind of just like
is
like it really broke in half, kind of.
My big idea was to be very sustainable in everything my family does in the house.
My big idea was to create a small house and have an illusion of having the bigger spaces.
I wanted a lot of natural light, like I said, so I did more windows than most people would do right here, and that was my personal touch.
Our challenges were we had our floor plan laid out on our lot, and we figured out that we had to fit them like this, but we didn't have enough room for open area.
One of my challenges when I got frustrated was when I made the wrong measurements and I had to start my house like kind of all over again. So I learned always double check your measurements.
Yeah.
My sustainability focus was to have most natural lighting in my house.
My sustainability focus was a smaller space and using less materials, but like still having a bigger house and using recycled materials.
Our big idea was to make a small house because the family loves the outdoors and sports and stuff, and so we wanted to give them more room in the backyard to so they could run around, because we have a lot of room like right here or something, and so yeah.
Yeah, and our main sustainability focus was to get a lot of natural light in. So we have a big window on the south side where most of the sun goes, and windows just all around here to watch not a lot of natural light in. And then we have solar panel right here on the south side.
And so some of our special features are, and right here is a huge giant room, and we wanted to not use a lot of space, so we just had the kids share the room, and then if they wanted to be alone, like if they're mad at their sister or something, they would take their curtain and pull it off, like pull it so no one would see them.
This house was designed for 8 people. It was designed for a family of 2 parents and 3 kids, and
4 parents.
yeah, 4 parents and 4 kids.
There was yellow glue that stuck to that window, our big window, and it was really frustrating, and so we had to
Pop it out.
kind of stick our hand through it and pop it out, and it took kind of a long time.
Our main idea was to have a house that brings in a lot of natural lighting and to have solar panels, as shown, to help with all the lighting that we don't use on a cloudy day, and to make a family that has 2 families with 3 kids and 2 adults.
And the natural lighting part is way on the top, and the solar panels are for, we have a movie theater, and we have solar panels to save money. We designed this house for like 2 different families, the top and the bottom family, and they both have 3 kids and 2 adults, and they both love sports and outdoors. That's why they decided to have the share house, because they're both a lot alike.
In so many different ways, so we decided to either, instead of splitting our house in half and having smaller houses with the same amount of family, we decided to just make one big house and share it all. Instead of just having 2 or 3 solar panels, we designed it to have our whole roof to have a solar panel, and the windows right here, they're designed to light in the upper floor. So instead of using a lot of on and off lights and using a lot of energy and money and work, and so the bottom floor, that's her floor, we designed to have the green space, to have little windows that poke out to give her a little bit of natural lighting, but to also have her on and off lights.
Something that was really hard was the measurements, because when we drew our plan, it didn't turn out to match our house, so we had to rebuild and cut, and like for the front piece we had to make longer, the side pieces we had to make a little shorter.
So we wanted this house to be like for a big family or lots of guests, and they could have fun in it and party in it, and we wanted it to be big. Sustainability, I think we were going to use water collection, which is what this would be for. We would use solar panels, and that's it.
My big idea is to make a big playroom for the house I was building, because there's 3 kids and 2 adults, and so that was my big idea. My sustainability focus was to do solar panels and lots of natural lighting, and my house was made out of reusable materials.
In my design, I used a compost bin, solar panels, and a rain chain, which most of it hasn't gotten on there yet.
One of the really cool features I did with my house is I put a tube down, a clear glass tube starting from the top to go down all the way to the first floor, and it brings in a lot of natural light. And down at the first floor, it has a little garden down, so it has natural rain and sun.
My big idea was that we could have a house that would accommodate 2 people. I mean, no, not 2 people, 2 families. and they could live comfortably, but while also being politically correct and green.
We designed it for 2 families that would take up a lot of space for traveling and collecting things and still have always something to do.
Our sustainability focus was mainly to have some natural lighting, and we have a green roof so that you can plant various vegetables and fruits. The other side of the building is just a huge window with, you can clearly see the 2 floors.
It was really frustrating for us. Today we were working in here. It was really hard because having a lot.
Wall.
Yeah, we were having a lot of trouble getting the window on here and making the frame just right. So, but we got it, and it looks pretty good to me.
My big idea was to have a house that used a lot of natural lighting and conserved a lot of energy.
And then my big idea was to have a nice relaxing house.
My sustainability focus was on using natural lighting and also reusing rainwater to water our garden.
My sustainability focus is on natural lighting and water supply. We have a garden on top of our roof too.
We divided the site in half and made our own separate houses. The design of our houses is very nice. They're both shaped like a C. And when you put them together, that's our open space for our garden will be.
There's lots of windows in our house, and there's a fence around our garden area up here. And then so I can get to the garden too, we put stairs right here so that we can both get to the garden.
My big idea was to make a sustainable house for a family. I designed this house for 2 adults and 1 child. We also like being outside, sports, and nature. My sustainable focus was to have solar energy, a green roof, a water collection. This house is 3 floors, 40 by 45 feet big. Once one of our floor plans one of our measurements were messed up, so we had to restart on our entire thing. And so I think the lesson that we learned was that always double or even triple check your measurements before you start.
My big idea was to design a sustainable house that could feed 3 families. Well, we had natural lighting and a garden and chicken coop.
We also have one more story. We haven't attached that yet.